He was startled to see a moving mattress ahead. Thinking he was seeing things, he soon spotted a beautiful woman emerging from beneath it. As she struggled to stand, he reached out to help, only to be pulled down onto the mattress himself. Just then, a sheet from above floated down, covering them both. The two strangers writhed under the sheet, while onlookers mistook it for a public affair. They were taken to the police station by local residents. There, they explained to the officers that they didn't know each other and began blaming one another. However, as the man corrected the officer's pronunciation, the woman suddenly became sad and began to cry. She had just divorced. Her unethical husband had taken everything, including the toilet seat, leaving her with a heavily mortgaged house and even reneging on money borrowed from her mother-in-law. Their last interaction had been her correcting his pronunciation, only to be cursed at by him. Despite the lack of possessions left, she decided to discard the mattress they had shared, wanting to erase all memories associated with him. Seeing her cry, the man recalled seeing her the previous day in a supermarket, crying in front of a shelf. She had habitually picked items for two and only realized at the checkout that she was now divorced. She put the items back and couldn't help but cry over her situation. Seeing the same woman crying twice stirred sympathy in him. He apologized, and they reconciled, hoping never to meet again. However, unexpectedly, they met the next day. He was the interviewer, and she was the job applicant. Noh Ki-joon, an actuary at an insurance company, had dreamt of his boss's magnified face appearing at his window, yelling at him because their team was about to be disbanded. The boss was conservative, favoring only existing products, while Noh Ki-joon favored innovation. His projects, however, had all lost money, leaving just the two of them in the new product development team. Undeterred, Noh Ki-joon promised he was the greatest actuary and would develop an innovative insurance product. Despite his boss losing hope in him and contemplating suicide, Noh Ki-joon rushed to save him, but found himself in a room full of plans that suddenly collapsed. Inspired by the insurance god on a billboard, he thought of a new product, divorce insurance, since he himself had been divorced. It aimed to ensure the happiness of newlyweds, post-divorce. Waking from his dream, he excitedly shared the idea with his boss, who, just having received a divorce call from his wife, could immediately relate to the concept. Noh Ki-joon immediately explained that divorce is the real disaster. They can estimate insurance rates based on both rational and irrational factors and include divorce within the coverage scope. Persuaded by him, the team leader instructed to immediately find suitable personnel and form a special team. The first person Noh Ki-joon thought of was his good friend and rival, the risk assessor, An Jung-man. Anne had been the most vocal critic during the presentation of the divorce insurance. Noh Ki-joon persuaded An by pointing out that together, they had 4 divorces worth of experience, 3 for himself and 1 for Anne. That evening, over dinner, An Jung-man grilled Noh Ki-joon about the reasons for his 3 divorces, claiming he needed to evaluate him before deciding to join the team. Reluctantly, Noh Ki-joon shared that his 3 ex-wives had differing views on marriage, the world, and life. He couldn't understand why a responsible man like An Jung-man would also end up divorced, and revealed that his ex-wife, a passionate interior designer, suddenly decided he disrupted the home style, and thus, he had to leave. An Jung-man finally agreed to join the divorce insurance special team. Just the 2 of them wasn't enough, so the team leader ordered Noh Ki-joon to continue recruiting, specifically targeting those who had been divorced. The response was overwhelming, but few met the criteria with a genuine understanding of insurance. Just as Noh Ki-joon felt exhausted from the interviews, the next candidate turned out to be the mattress woman. This time, he learned her name was Kang Han-dul, who not only had been divorced, but also had professional underwriting experience. Realizing why she wanted to throw out the mattress that night, he understood her feelings. He reached out to Kang Han-dul, declaring all past grievances settled, and that from now on, they would be partners with shared goals. Also hired was Kang Han-dul's friend, Jo A-young, a claims adjuster at the insurance company. She was the only one among them who had never been divorced because she was a staunch opponent of marriage. As they entered the elevator, he remembered an important announcement. Headquarters was sending an executive to join the divorce team. Everyone speculated about the identity of this executive. Just then, the elevator doors opened, and a woman appeared. Hearing the team leader call out her name, Jeon Na-rae, Noh Ki-joon swiftly turned around. Jeon Na-rae waved at him. The team leader sensed something unusual and asked if they knew each other. Noh Ki-joon replied that she was his first ex-wife. Together with the divorce insurance team, Noh Ki-joon went on to promote their business. Surprisingly, Noh Ki-joon chose a wedding expo as the venue. Below, couples excited about their upcoming weddings were picking out wedding supplies. On stage, Noh Ki-joon passionately pitched that everyone should be prepared for divorce. He claimed their divorce insurance could help people face reality and move forward, because divorce is more complex than marriage and more painful than any illness. The couples found this inauspicious and angrily threw things at them, forcing the team off the stage. Hiding away, the team blamed Noh Ki-joon for his idea. Noh Ki-joon insisted that the newlyweds were interested in divorce insurance, but were too embarrassed to admit it. And Jongman disagreed, leading to a childish argument between them. At that moment, a woman approached them to inquire about the insurance. They were shocked to find out she had been the most vocally opposed at the expo. She explained that it was too crowded earlier to ask questions. After hearing Noh Ki-joon's speech, she believed marriage could turn unhappy and wanted to purchase insurance to prepare for potential divorce. Unexpectedly, Noh Ki-joon dismissed her reasoning, stating his belief that both marriage and divorce were means to find happiness. Today, Jeon Na-rae chaired the first meeting of the divorce insurance team. She wanted to develop a divorce prediction model based on big data to validate the feasibility of divorce insurance. They needed to first collect relevant divorce data. Kang Han-dul suggested they should find a legitimate reason to show why divorce insurance was necessary before collecting data. Noh Ki-joon supported her view, which displeased Jeon Na-rae as she sensed a bias toward Kang Han-dul. She insisted they start collecting data immediately and quickly assigned tasks. Noh Ki-joon first took Kang Han-dul out to eat. While parking, he and a man driving a sports car competed for a parking spot. They decided to settle it with rock, paper, scissors, and Noh Ki-joon won. The man reluctantly left, and Kang Han-dul thanked Noh Ki-joon for winning, revealing the man was her ex-husband. After lunch, Kang Han-dul suggested going to a courthouse or law firm to collect data, but Noh Ki-joon took her to a temple instead. They were greeted by a young nun who knew Noh Ki-joon. Kang Han-dul thought they were friends, but Noh Ki-joon revealed they were once married. He encouraged Kang Han-dul to ask his ex-wife questions. The ex-wife, a very wise woman, shared her view on divorce. She had always aspired to live a secluded spiritual life, but feared telling her parents. She followed a conventional path, working and marrying. After marriage, Noh Ki-joon recognized her true desires and helped fulfill her wish to live that life. People often look down on those who are divorced. Divorce insurance exposes the team to significant external pressures. However, looking on the bright side, if someone gathers the courage to defy societal norms and choose divorce to be true to themselves, divorce insurance can support them and give them hope for the future. Kang Han-dul felt enlightened when the nun told them about a once-in-a-century meteor shower that night, which they could stay to watch. Noh Ki-joon, noticing Kang Han-dul's interest in the meteor shower, ordered pizza and took her to watch it from a camper. They discussed their ideas about divorce insurance, asking each other what unique type of insurance they desired. Noh Ki-joon wanted speech insurance, allowing one to say whatever they wish daily in marriage without rejection. Kang Han-dul guessed he might have experienced or used verbal abuse, but Noh Ki-joon didn't respond immediately. Instead, Kang Han-dul shared her desired insurance, self-esteem insurance. If one's self-esteem were damaged or destroyed in marriage, they would receive compensation, essentially restoring their dignity. Meanwhile, Jongman and Jeon Na-rae discussed the same topic. Jeon Na-rae had asked An to take her to the most professional place to gather data, but he brought her to an internet cafe instead, believing relaxation was crucial. However, Jeon Na-rae soon fell asleep in her chair, and Jongman was surprised and came closer to check on her. When she woke up, feeling uncomfortable, she excused herself for some air. An chased after her to ask about her marriage with Noh Ki-joon, surprised that as Noh Ki-joon's childhood friend, He had only seen her briefly at the wedding and never in daily life. Jeon Na-rae revealed that she and Noh Ki-joon had never officially registered their marriage. They married after 3 months of dating and divorced soon after. She had not seen any of Noh Ki-joon's friends or family since the wedding. Their divorce was sparked by hurtful words, leading her to wish for speech insurance too, where kind words would compensate for the hurtful ones. And Jongman, on a lighter note, wanted space travel emergency rescue insurance. Jeon Na-rae laughed, and during their exchange, and pulled her close to explain constellations in the night sky. Meanwhile, Noh Ki-joon reached out his hand to Kang Han-dul, inviting her onto the car roof to watch the stars. Under the night sky, Kang Han-dul felt a strange new emotion toward Noh Ki-joon. Later, Kang Han-dul ran into Jeon Na-rae at a movie theater. After the movie, noticing Kang Han-dul was also alone, Jeon Na-rae asked about her plans. Soon after, Kang Han-dul took Jeon Na-rae to a craft workshop to learn knitting. Jeon Na-rae chose green yarn, saying it was for someone she liked. Remembering the camping night when Noh Ki-joon mentioned his preference for green, Kang Han-dul asked about it. Jeon Na-rae openly admitted her lingering feelings for Noh Ki-joon, acknowledging the slim chances of reconciliation, but not willing to give up. The insurance team convened again to finalize their detailed insurance plan based on the collected data. To facilitate company approval, Noh Ki-joon suggested offering services to couples during the policy period to prevent divorce, thereby lowering the divorce rate. Couple counseling and parenting advice were considered good options. Jeon Na-rae decided to include these services in the policy terms and conditions. To celebrate the completion of their plan, they went bowling. It was Kang Han-dul's first time bowling, and Noh Ki-joon took the initiative to teach her. Jeon Na-rae also joined in to learn, creating an awkward atmosphere among the trio that the rest of the team noticed and kept their distance. The next day, Jeon Na-rae and the team leader formally submitted the proposal. After intense discussions, the board finally made a decision. Jeon Na-rae announced that the plan was approved with conditions. They needed to sell 30 policies within 3 days and ensure a 0 divorce rate at the end of a 6-month contract period. The team was disheartened, knowing that selling 30 policies in 3 days was a feat only top insurance agents could achieve. It seemed impossible for them. The team leader considered terminating the project, but Noh Ki-joon refused to give up, believing they could accomplish the task. He knew just the place to address the challenge. The team went to a wedding expo, where Noh Ki-joon reasoned that couples in the midst of wedding preparations often experience premarital blues and anxiety about securing their upcoming marital life. They could capitalize on this mindset. However, despite their enthusiastic pitch, they were initially driven off stage by couples who were excited about marriage. It wasn't until the woman who had been the most disruptive earlier came forward to purchase a policy that others began to approach them for insurance. Soon, a mother bought a policy for her daughter to safeguard against potential marital issues. Another woman quickly did the same for her son. However, when the two women looked at each other, they gasped in surprise, realizing they were in-laws. After their initial surprise, they both understood each other's thoughts. After all, the future is full of uncertainties, and as parents, they wanted to provide extra security for their children. This was only natural. Consequently, they shook hands, agreeing to jointly take out insurance. Seeing them reach a consensus, and Jongman asked for confirmation of the insurance terms, including whether they wanted the young couple to visit their maternal home during holidays. The mothers disagreed and clashed again, causing a headache for Noh Ki-joon. At that moment, Ya-young rushed in to report that the situation outside had turned chaotic. It turned out that all the newlyweds at the wedding fair were enthusiastic about divorce insurance and had secretly queued up for consultation, leading to suspicions and arguments among couples when discovered. The situation was chaotic. The 4 observers felt mixed emotions as they saw the crowded scene, indicating the promotion was effective. However, disputes over divorce insurance before marriage could likely lead to actual divorces, which would mean payouts from the company. They faced a dilemma between completing policy tasks and reducing divorce rates. Kang Han-dul quickly devised a solution to temporarily set aside these individuals for a thorough review before deciding on their eligibility for insurance. Noh Ki-joon trusted Kang Han-dul's words, asking everyone to quiet down and announcing that each couple would be evaluated to see if they were suitable for marriage. As soon as he spoke, the crowd threw dolls at him, expressing their dissatisfaction with his inauspicious remarks. The four returned to the company and informed the team leader and John Naray of their decision to hold off on the policies. The team leader was furious, insisting they should first sign the policies to meet the signing rate and then address other issues. However, John Naray approved of Kang Han-dul's plan, pointing out that contracts with a high divorce rate would bring losses to the company, making the deals not worth the effort. She questioned how they planned to increase the signing rate while minimizing losses. Kang Han-dul responded that they would assess the divorce risk before registration and charge an additional fee based on the evaluation to reduce losses. John Naray was quite satisfied with the plan they developed and looked forward to the results. Praised by her, Kang Han-dul felt a sense of achievement, and his confidence in divorce insurance grew. Ya-young congratulated her on taking an important step after her divorce, and they discussed spending the previous night at Noh Ki-joon's house. The four had worked late into the night. Originally, Ya-young planned to stay at Kang Han-dul's, but seeing Kang Han-dul's hesitant expression, and remembering he had thrown out his mattress during a move, Noh Ki-joon quickly intervened, suggesting they all have drinks and stay at his place. Kang Han-dul was grateful, his look towards Noh Ki-joon filled with both appreciation and a hint of indescribable emotion. In the middle of the night, Kang Han-dul got up to use the bathroom and heard Noh Ki-joon on the phone, advising someone to drink less and not forget to get a haircut on the weekend. She guessed that the person Noh Ki-joon was talking to must be a woman, perhaps his girlfriend, which made Kang Han-dul's mood a bit downcast. The next day, newlyweds consulting on divorce insurance at the wedding fair came to assess their risk of divorce, including the two mothers who had insured their children. The mothers had agreed on a previous issue. The young couple would visit the husband's family on even years and the wife's family on odd years, and they all agreed to lay out all issues before marriage. After An Jung-man reviewed their documents, he announced the effective date of the contract as the date of marriage registration. In the evening, while taking out the trash, Kang Han-dul unexpectedly met Noh Ki-joon doing the same. They sat on a swing and chatted. Noh Ki-joon was ambivalent, proud of his divorce insurance idea, yet often nervous, worried that it might drive a wedge between deeply in love couples. Kang Han-dul reassured him by comparing divorce insurance to an umbrella. Their job was like keeping the umbrella for couples, to be returned when it rains. However, whether it rains or not is beyond their control. Kang Han-dul's words reminded Noh Ki-joon of his sister. She had confided in him that she was unhappy and wanted a divorce. Knowing his brother-in-law was diligent and responsible, Noh Ki-joon concluded his sister was asking for too much. He advised her that marriage isn't just about love. Many marry without it, and urged her to try harder. At the time, his sister had said some efforts are futile, but he still believed she wasn't trying enough. At the time, his sister had said some efforts are futile, but he still believed she wasn't trying enough. She left his house without further argument. When he chased after her, her complex look painfully puzzled him. This memory made Noh Ki-joon realize it was raining in his sister's world, and sadly, he hadn't provided her with an umbrella. Before he could reflect further, it suddenly began to pour. He quickly took shelter under a wall with Kang Han-dul. Upon parting, he invited Kang Han-dul to join him at a small wedding the next day, where the couple had signed up for divorce insurance to ensure the event went smoothly. The next day, Kang Han-dul appeared in a beautiful dress, stirring feelings in Noh Ki-joon. They anxiously waited for the couple at the wedding venue. However, as the start time passed without the bride and groom appearing and guests began whispering, Noh Ki-joon and Kang Han-dul panicked, fearing something had gone wrong. Just then, the MC announced the start of the ceremony. Their worries eased momentarily until the couple appeared on a large screen, stating they decided to skip the wedding after finding out their mothers had taken out divorce insurance without their knowledge, opting instead for a honeymoon, but assuring they would live happily without needing any insurance payout. As the guests discussed the divorce insurance, Noh Ki-joon was unsure how to handle the situation. At that moment, music played, and the two mothers walked hand in hand onto the stage, completing the wedding ceremony on behalf of the couple. Moved by the mother's love, Noh Ki-joon led the applause, relieved that despite the twists, The wedding was a success. The two mothers thanked Noh Ki-joon and Kang Han-dul for attending the wedding, and not wanting to waste the rented wedding car, suggested they take it for a drive. Reluctantly, they got into the long limousine. To ease the awkwardness, Noh Ki-joon poured some drinks. Soon after, they encountered road construction, and the limo, being too long, couldn't make the turn. Just then, Kang Han-dul received a call from Jeon Na-rae, informing her that 5 contracts needed to be re-signed. With traffic backing up behind them, Noh Ki-joon, not wanting to wait, got out of the car and extended his hand to Kang Han-dul, deciding to make a daring escape. Kang Han-dul, seeing his smiling eyes, couldn't help but take his hand, and together, they briskly walked away, freely expressing themselves under the gaze of onlookers. After breaking free, they laughed uncontrollably. Suddenly, Noh Ki-joon received a message and immediately bid farewell to Kang Han-dul, saying he had to meet someone. Noh Ki-joon went to a museum to find a man, his brother-in-law, and asked him to sign a policy. It turned out that the person Noh Ki-joon had been calling about drinking less and getting a haircut was his brother-in-law. Since his sister's departure, he had taken meticulous care of his brother-in-law, trying to make up for not taking better care of his sister. He always felt that if he had been better to his sister, she might not have left them. Overwhelmed by grief and under Noh Ki-joon's care, the brother-in-law broke down crying. As Noh Ki-joon left the museum, a falling leaf caught his eye, reminiscent of a leaf that had landed on his sister's unfinished sweater after her death. He believed this leaf was a sign of his sister's lingering presence, and, overwhelmed with sorrow, he crouched down and wept. To clear his mind, he ran all the way home from the museum, exhausted, and collapsed in the neighborhood, where Kang Han-dul happened to see him. Noh Ki-joon grabbed Kang Han-dul's skirt hem and suggested they go for a coffee. However, soon after reaching the cafe, he fell asleep in his seat. When he woke up, he saw Kang Han-dul quietly knitting. His sister had also loved knitting, and in that moment, Kang Han-dul's actions and gentle tone strongly reminded him of his sister. He earnestly asked Kang Han-dul to teach him knitting so he could finish his sister's unfinished piece. Afterwards, to change his mood, Noh Ki-joon took Kang Han-dul shopping at the supermarket. During their conversation, Kang Han-dul asked a question she had always been curious about: why he had gotten divorced. Noh Ki-joon admitted that sometimes he could be petty. A few years ago, he married Jeon Na-rae. Initially, their relationship was harmonious. Then one day, to treat Jeon Na-rae after a business trip, Noh Ki-joon planned to cook a lavish dinner. Unexpectedly, Jeon Na-rae wanted to host a male friend she met abroad at home. Noh Ki-joon thought hosting at their home was convenient and he could help entertain the guest. However, Jeon Na-rae told him it wasn't at their shared home, but at her own place. Noh Ki-joon had assumed that after their marriage, Jeon Na-rae had sold the house she lived in when she was single. He only then learned she had kept it. He found it strange that Jeon Na-rae had another home. Jeon Na-rae believed she could afford the mortgage and needed her own space. Although married, she felt it didn't mean they had to share everything. At that time, Jeon Na-rae was discussing with An Jong-man whether spouses should maintain personal spaces. It happened when she went to the laundry to wash a teddy bear, and An Jong-man saw her start the machine. He rushed to stop her, but it was too late. Jeon Na-rae didn't understand why An Jong-man was so agitated until she saw the teddy bear explode in the washing machine. An Jong-man pointed to the sign on the wall, clearly stating that washing plush toys was prohibited and could lead to a charge for any damages caused to the machine. Frightened, Jeon Na-rae grabbed An Jong-man, pleading for his help. An Jong-man verbally refused, but his actions were sincere. He patiently removed the exploded cotton and cleaned it up, then restarted the washing machine. Once it was running smoothly, he was relieved that the issue was resolved. He was about to leave with his lunchbox, but Jeon Na-rae insisted on joining him for a meal. An Jong-man reluctantly took Jeon Na-rae with him to the restaurant to get takeout. During the wait, they heard the owner's wife cry out in pain from the kitchen. Soon after, they saw her husband run out with all the money from the cash register. They learned that the owner's husband had been gambling and drinking for years and had often mistreated his wife. Knowing that their children were grown and independent, An Jong-man immediately pulled out an insurance policy and urged the owner's wife to consider divorce. She could sign the policy and seek help to improve their relationship first. If her husband remained unrepentant, she could proceed with the divorce. After helping the owner's wife, An Jong-man intended to go home, but Jeon Na-rae, with a growling stomach, asked to dine at his place. Reluctantly, An Jong-man took her to his home. After dinner, she noticed how empty An Jong-man's house was. He explained that his ex-wife loved home decor and had filled the house with various items, trying to create a cozy home, but he felt increasingly distant from it. Realizing he only needed his own space resonated deeply with Jeon Na-rae, who had faced complaints and even lost her marriage over her need for personal space. She was surprised to find someone with similar feelings. Meanwhile, Noh Ki-joon, pushing a shopping cart to the checkout, realized Kang Han-deul hadn't followed. He called her, just as her ex-husband appeared with another woman. Seeing her ex's face, Kang Han-deul turned hastily, knocking items off a shelf. Her ex mocked her as a fool and rammed his cart into her. Unable to bear it, Kang Han-deul stood up and screamed. Her ex intensified his attacks in response to her resistance. Just then, Noh Ki-joon arrived and shielded her, using his cart to block her ex's assault. Her ex cursed and left. Kang Han-deul felt both bitter and warmed by Noh Ki-joon cleaning up the mess. At work, the team met again. The team leader reported that 3 contracts had been re-signed, with 2 remaining. Jeon Na-rae raised a concern. The contracts required a 0 divorce rate over 6 months. Noh Ki-joon proposed closely monitoring high-risk divorce clients, using methods like astrology and physiognomy to identify them. Kang Han-deul thought of various divorce prevention measures, such as couples golf, travel, and marriage therapy. Jeon Na-rae appreciated these ideas and announced continued collaboration. Noh Ki-joon and Kang Han-deul took photos of insured clients to a physiognomy expert for risk assessment. After work, they let the expert read their faces, which ended up painted in various colors. Back in the car, they laughed at each other's ridiculous appearances and began wiping their faces. Seeing Kang Han-deul struggle to clean off the paint, Noh Ki-joon helped her, leading to an intimate atmosphere. Kang Han-deul felt uncomfortable at the closeness. Just then, Noh Ki-joon received a call from a manager at the Financial Supervisory Services Insurance Department, who claimed to have evidence of their violation of insurance regulations during product development. Their divorce insurance approval was at risk of being revoked. Noh Ki-joon and Kang Han-deul learned there was an issue with their divorce insurance and immediately rushed to the Financial Supervisory Service. The staff showed them a flyer distributed at their wedding show and explained that there was a complaint about the last item, which stated that the insured could hold a divorce ceremony for 30,000 Korean won. This clause violated insurance regulations because hosting a divorce ceremony does not decrease the divorce rate among policyholders. To their surprise, the complainant seemed as knowledgeable as an underwriter, unwilling to let their efforts go to waste. Noh Ki-joon, in a moment of urgency, promised that they would not hold any divorce ceremonies and would provide measures to prevent divorce until the end of the contract to ensure the first 10 insured did not divorce. The staff warned them that if a divorce ceremony was held, they would be fully responsible, and the divorce insurance could not officially launch. Noh Ki-joon and Kang Han-deul reluctantly agreed and returned to their company. They immediately informed their team about the commitment to ensure the first 10 insured couples remain married. The team leader was furious, pointing out the uncontrollable factors in divorce and their inability to monitor every insured couple's situation. Moreover, 2 experts had identified the insured with the highest likelihood of divorce from the top 10, and both selected the same person who might soon hold a divorce ceremony. To prevent this divorce, Noh Ki-joon and Kang Han-deul decided to meet with this person named Gu Mi-kye to help resolve the marital issues. Meanwhile, Jeon Na-rae suspected something odd, feeling that the knowledgeable complainant must be a professional like them. She suspected an insider in the company. Although a senior executive insisted there was no mole, he immediately made a discreet phone call after leaving the office, warning someone to keep a low profile. When Noh Ki-joon and Kang Han-deul tried to persuade Gu Mi-kye not to divorce, they were warmly welcomed by Gu Mi-kye, a tarot card reader who mistook them for clients. Upon learning their real intention, Gu Mi-kye promptly kicked them out. Sitting dejectedly at the door, the two decided to wait for Gu Mi-kye to come out to talk to her. Seeing no signs of her leaving, Kang Han-deul devised a plan. She knocked loudly on the door and, when Gu Mi-kye opened it, claimed she wanted a tarot reading. She chose 3 cards to test if she could successfully complete her mission. Coincidentally, the cards predicted her ultimate victory. Kang Han-dol caught Gumi-ki off guard by revealing that her mission was to prevent Gumi-ki's divorce. She argued that for the reading to be accurate, Gumi-ki must not divorce. If Gumi-ki insisted on divorcing, it would prove the reading inaccurate. At this point, Gumi-ki shared the issues with her husband. They met while traveling, and he had helped her when she was exhausted, leading to a romantic relationship. Upon returning to Korea, they quickly married. Her husband continued his work as a documentary photographer, traveling globally to photograph animals, often leaving for long periods. She spent more time alone than with him, sometimes not even knowing if he was alive or dead. She dreamed of a life filled with laughter and raising children together, but her husband was focused on his career and not interested in parenting, prompting her thoughts of divorce. Kang Han-dol saw that she still loved her husband and guessed that he might be working hard to provide a better life for them. She suggested they find ways to improve their relationship. Gumi-ki mentioned her husband was in Korea photographing tigers but didn't know the exact location. However, he had uploaded a photo of the location as his profile picture. Kang Han-dol obtained the photo, and they returned to the car, tracking her husband down to a village. Deciding to head to the location immediately, they waited for Ya-young to join them. In the meantime, Noh Ki-joon called En Jung-man to update him on their whereabouts. Unexpectedly, during the video call, he saw En Jung-man and Jeon Na-rae in an intimate embrace. Originally, En Jung-man was at the office organizing data. During a break, he played with his beloved yo-yo to relax. Unexpectedly, Jeon Na-rae also showed interest in yo-yos. Finding a kindred spirit, En Jung-man took out a beginner's yo-yo to teach her. Seeing Jeon Na-rae repeatedly fail, he anxiously stood behind her, guiding her hands. Their proximity led to unintended eye contact, creating a suggestive atmosphere. Just then, his phone rang suddenly. Startled, he pushed Jeon Na-rae away and saw it was a call from Noh Ki-joon. In a panic, he hung up, but accidentally switched to video call. Hearing Jeon Na-rae crying out in pain from falling, he rushed to help her, unaware that Noh Ki-joon might misinterpret their interaction. Kang Han-dol, worried about Noh Ki-joon's feelings, comforted him, suggesting there might be a special circumstance, and it wasn't as it seemed. Noh Ki-joon recalled his and Kang Han-dol's own awkward first meeting involving a mattress incident and chose not to jump to conclusions about En Jung-man and Jeon Na-rae. Ya-young arrived, and the three immediately headed to the village where Gumi-ki's husband was. Upon arrival, they were clueless about where to start searching. Then, Ya-young recognized a farmer working in the field as someone she had previously met on a blind date. The farmer believed their meeting was fate. While Ya-young quickly clarified their relationship, Noh Ki-joon eagerly approached him for help. The blind date checked the surveillance footage and found Gumi-ki's husband's car entering the village but not leaving, indicating he was still there. The village had 2 rest areas for camping, and some people also went to the forest. Noh Ki-joon decided to split into 2 groups to search. The blind date suggested he and Ya-young check the rest areas. Before departing, he warned Noh Ki-joon and Kang Han-dol about the high altitude and unstable weather, urging them to descend before dark. They set off immediately following his advice. While hiking, the mountain path was rough and difficult. Noh Ki-joon extended his hand to Kang Han-dol, whose heart skipped a beat, feeling both thrilled and shy. Noh Ki-joon insisted, taking her hand, and they supported each other as they walked deeper into the forest. Unexpectedly, they lost their way before finding Gumi-ki's husband's SUV. To make matters worse, a sudden downpour began, and they had nowhere to shelter. Noh Ki-joon took off his jacket and draped it over his head to protect Kang Han-dol from the rain. Kang Han-dol stared at Noh Ki-joon's face, close at hand, in the small shelter he created, her heartbeat erratic once more. When the rain stopped, it was already dark, and both of their phones had run out of battery and turned off. They blindly fumbled through the forest. Just then, they heard a strange noise and turned to see a large tiger roaring at them. Terrified, Noh Ki-joon and Kang Han-dol were about to run when a voice nearby cautioned them not to move or stare directly into the tiger's eyes. A man then rushed out, using a laser pointer to distract the tiger while filming with his phone. As the tiger approached, Noh Ki-joon grabbed the laser pointer and threw it, using the moment to escape with Kang Han-dol and the man to a safe area. After reaching safety, Noh Ki-joon and Kang Han-dol brushed off the leaves and twigs from their clothes. The man excitedly exclaimed that he got a photo of the tiger. Curious, they carefully examined him and tentatively asked if he was Gumi-ki's husband. Overjoyed at the confirmation, They expressed their day-long search effort. The husband expressed gratitude for helping him capture the tiger photo. Seizing the moment, Noh Ki-joon asked for his help to meet with Gu Mi-kie. The three went to the husband's camper to discuss his marriage with Gu Mi-kie. The husband shared that he and his wife had fallen in love at first sight, but she often chased illusions, trusting tarot cards over the existence of wild tigers, creating a rift between them. He feared meeting now might lead to divorce. Noh Ki-joon encouraged him, stating that without trying to communicate, they would never know the future and should not let fear doom their relationship. The husband had a realization and agreed to meet his wife. After achieving their goal, Noh Ki-joon and Kang Han-dol tiredly descended the mountain. Just as they lay down to rest, car headlights shone on them. And Jong-man and Jeon Na-rae got out of the car. Jeon Na-rae criticized Noh Ki-joon's impulsive work style. Kang Han-dol quickly defended him, stating it was her idea to come here. As tensions rose among them, Ya-young and the blind date returned empty-handed. Jeon Na-rae felt like an outsider as she watched the others report to Noh Ki-joon and Kang Han-dol. And Jong-man raised his hand to support Jeon Na-rae, reminding everyone that she was part of the team and kindly asked if she wanted to go back. Touched by his effort driving back and forth, Jeon Na-rae decided to stay the night. The next day, Noh Ki-joon and the others eagerly awaited Gu Mi-kie's arrival to meet her husband. However, not long after sitting down, Gu Mi-kie stood up to leave. It turned out that as soon as she sat down, her husband excitedly showed her a photo of a tiger. Gu Mi-kie, unable to bear her husband's long absences and his apparent obsession with tigers over her, felt that tigers were more important to him than she was, and decided to leave in frustration. The 6 onlookers quickly intervened to stop her. Kang Han-dol bowed, apologized, and asked her to give her husband another chance, also reminding him to speak honestly. Opening up, the husband explained that capturing the tiger photo was a way to prove himself to her, hoping if the photo was globally recognized, she might recognize his worth too. Gu Mi-kie blurted out that she had acknowledged him the moment he extended his hand when they first met. However, his focus was always elsewhere, neglecting her and leaving her to live in loneliness. Hearing this for the first time, the husband realized her feelings and apologized for making her feel isolated after their marriage. Seeing a thaw in their relationship, Noh Ki-joon thought it best to intensify efforts to dissolve their thoughts of divorce completely. After some thought, he came up with the idea of hosting a renewal of vows ceremony. He explained that this ceremony was meant to encourage couples to continue their marriage. To implement the plan, the 6 split up to prepare. Ya-young and the blind date arranged the venue. Noh Ki-joon and Kang Han-dol borrowed a bridal gown from a village elder, and Jong-man and Jeon Na-rae borrowed a groom's suit from another elder. With everything ready, Gu Mi-kie walked towards her waiting husband, bouquet in hand, as everyone watched. Their attire reminded them of the excitement and joy of their first encounter, bringing back beautiful memories. Resentment and blame dissipated, and they only wanted to walk forward hand in hand amid the congratulations of those around them. Everyone celebrated joyously to the music, even the usually reserved Jeon Na-rae, who was pulled into the crowd by an old lady. Seeing Jeon Na-rae a bit lost, and Jong-man quickly came to her aid. Watching Jong-man's playful antics in front of her, Jeon Na-rae gradually let go of her inhibitions. After a restless night, Jeon Na-rae asked Jong-man to take her to the nearest hotel for a good sleep, and Jong-man promptly drove her to a nearby hotel, where they each used their key cards to enter adjacent rooms. Although they exchanged silent glances, there was an unspoken unease between them. Meanwhile, Noh Ki-joon and Kang Han-dol were taking a walk in the village. Kang Han-dol felt disappointed by Noh Ki-joon's vague responses to Jeon Na-rae's questioning the previous night. During their conversation, Jeon Na-rae had posed questions as if she was Noh Ki-joon's first wife, asking about their current relationship. Kang Han-dol had high hopes, but Noh Ki-joon skirted the issue, making the moment awkward. Trying to change the subject, Kang Han-dol excitedly ran to an old-fashioned telephone nearby. She pretended to call her future self, wishing for confidence and success. After hanging up, she playfully tapped Noh Ki-joon, who turned around, instantly closing the distance between them. Their eyes met, and a palpable sense of romance filled the air. To cover her nervousness, Kang Han-dol handed the phone to Noh Ki-joon, urging him to speak to his future self. Noh Ki-joon told his future self to remember this day, which made Kang Han-dol smile radiantly, feeling blissful. The next morning, as they drove back to Seoul, Noh Ki-joon recited a formula, explaining that a scientist had calculated the probability of meeting a soulmate. Kang Han-dol dismissed the idea of soulmates, but Noh Ki-joon enlightened her that the scientific result was not zero, indicating that soulmates do exist. He then frequently glanced at Kang Han-dol, and after carefully choosing his words, surprisingly invited her to stay at his place. The man she liked invited her to stay at his house, which delighted the woman. However, the next moment, she was surprised to hear that he wanted to exchange residences. Noh Ki-joon thought that both he and Kang Han-dol had unpleasant memories associated with their own homes, and both wanted to move out. He suggested that swapping homes might give them a different perspective. That evening, Noh Ki-joon arrived at Kang Han-dol's house, only to find it empty and the floor scratched. The wardrobe was damaged from violence, remnants of abuse from Kang Han-dol's ex-husband. The kitchen was bare, lacking both food and utensils, which made him realize how tough Kang Han-dol's life had been. Meanwhile, Kang Han-dol opened the fridge at Noh Ki-joon's house, finding it full of fresh ingredients and the kitchen well-equipped. Unfortunately, she couldn't cook and settled for bread. Before sleep, both were restless and texted each other. Their messages, meant to give permission to use each other's belongings, were filled with cautious probing. Even their good nights seemed unfinished. The next day at work, Jeon Na-rae saw them arrive together and questioned their relationship. They avoided answering and hurried into the elevator ahead of Jeon Na-rae's reaction. Left alone, Jeon Na-rae muttered to herself that their arriving together meant they were more than colleagues. She asked An Jung-man for his opinion, who was shocked to find Jeon Na-rae knew he was behind her without looking. She explained that she recognized his scent, a comment that stirred something in An Jung-man. As work began, the team leader came over angrily announcing that Ms. Yu had decided to divorce, and the couple had already filed for divorce. Kang Han-dol found out that Ms. Yu was not among those identified as having a high intention to divorce and had just insured. Noh Ki-joon and 3 others rushed to the court, but Ms. Yu and her husband had already submitted their divorce application. They reported back to their furious team leader. Jeon Na-rae pointed out that there was a 1-month cooling-off period for divorce, suggesting that if they could change Ms. Yu's mind during this period, the divorce might be averted. Noh Ki-joon decided to split up the team. Kang Han-dol and Ya-yong went to meet Ms. Yu to understand her situation, while the others went to find her husband, Dr. Park. Near Ms. Yu's home, Kang Han-dol and Ya-yong ran into her just as she was being pulled into a barbershop by the owner. Inside, they saw a neighbor pleading with Ms. Yu about being unable to afford her father's medical bills, which led to his discharge from the hospital. She was planning to sell her house. The barbershop owner suggested borrowing money from Ms. Yu. Hearing this, Ms. Yu immediately took out some money, explaining it was originally a deposit for a house, but she could lend it to her neighbor in need. The owner praised Ms. Yu's kindness. After witnessing this, Kang Han-dol and Ya-yong followed Ms. Yu home, intending to persuade her not to divorce, but found her mind was made up. She was still intent on divorcing, stating she could file an insurance claim anytime. Before leaving, Kang Han-dol gave her a business card in case she needed any help. Meanwhile, Noh Ki-joon, disguised as a patient, infiltrated the hospital where Dr. Park worked. The team leader went ahead, pretending to be distressed from a divorce, hinting that divorce has only downsides. However, Dr. Park, full of energy, seemed unworried about living alone. After the team leader underwent acupuncture, he overheard Dr. Park planning to meet someone. He immediately contacted Noh Ki-joon and Kwon Man-myung waiting outside. They followed Dr. Park and saw him get into a car with a woman. Back at the office, they compiled their findings. Ms. Yu was determined to divorce, and Dr. Park was suspected of having an affair. Faced with a challenging situation, Noh Ki-joon suddenly thought of exploiting a loophole in the divorce insurance policy. The policyholder must be an adult male or female without an extramarital affair. If they could prove Dr. Park's infidelity, they could declare the contract void, thus not affecting their mission. The team leader praised Noh Ki-joon as a genius and instructed everyone to find evidence of Dr. Park's affair. Kang Han-dol, however, felt that exposing private matters between spouses would further upset Ms. Yu, who was already heartbroken. Noh Ki-joon firmly decided they must proceed this way. Only then could the divorce insurance product be launched to benefit people like Ms. Yu. Kang Han-dol had no response, marking the first time the usually in-sync duo disagreed. After finishing a day's work, An Jung-man glanced at the teddy bear left by Jeon Na-rae, unable to suppress his growing feelings. He took a photo of the teddy bear and sent it to Jeon Na-rae, who instantly replied with a photo of herself drinking wine while working late. Overwhelmed by the urge to see her, An Jung-man took the subway to the office. Unbeknownst to him, Jeon Na-rae, equally unable to resist, was heading towards him with the wine. Meanwhile, Noh Ki-joon, who had a disagreement with Kang Han-deul during the day, went home to apologize to her. He expressed regret for disappointing her. Kang Han-deul admitted that she wouldn't have felt this way if it were anyone else but Noh Ki-joon. Noh Ki-joon declared his decision to step out of the gray area and redefine their relationship, moving forward to kiss her. Just as their lips were about to meet, Kang Han-deul's phone received a message, interrupting the moment. Noh Ki-joon, trying to hide his inner turmoil, hurriedly left. Unable to sleep from excitement, Noh Ki-joon messaged Kang Han-deul to affirm his intention to clarify their relationship. Kang Han-deul responded positively, also looking forward to becoming closer. The next day, as part of their efforts to handle Ms. Yu and Dr. Park's divorce case, the team split up to gather evidence of Dr. Park's infidelity. Kang Han-deul decided to approach Ms. Yu, but unexpectedly met her near the office. Ms. Yu voluntarily explained her insistence on divorce. She had developed Alzheimer's disease. Since her husband came from a poor background and had been supporting his family as a doctor, the burden was already significant. She did not want to be an additional burden to him, and hoped that by divorcing, her husband could claim the divorce insurance money, which was the last thing she could do for him. Kang Han-deul's eyes reddened as she learned the truth. She understood Ms. Yu's deep love for her husband, but had to remind her that legally, they would no longer be spouses once divorced. Ms. Yu, trembling, clearly struggled to accept this reality. Kang Han-deul saw that she didn't truly want a divorce, but didn't want to burden her husband. Unbeknownst to both Kang Han-deul and Ms. Yu, Dr. Park had already been aware of his wife's illness. Noh Ki-joon and An Jung-man kept watch outside Dr. Park's clinic and saw him leave during work hours. They quickly followed him by car to a house where a woman answered the door. Believing they had proof of Dr. Park's infidelity, they looked for an opportunity to enter. Sensing something amiss, they rushed in to help Dr. Park, who had fallen. He immediately checked a sewing machine beside him, relieved to find it unharmed. Questioning their identities, Noh Ki-joon and An Jung-man confessed about Ms. Yu's divorce insurance. Shocked at first, Dr. Park then understood his wife's actions. He revealed that his wife had sold her mother's sewing machine to support his education when they were younger. She had always regretted it, and he had been searching for one like it. He finally found it today. He had bought a new house and planned to surprise her with the machine as a token of appreciation for her lifelong sacrifices. He asked for their help with moving. Returning to report, Noh Ki-joon and An Jung-man, along with the team leader and 2 others, went to Dr. Park's house the next day. While cleaning out a drawer, Ya-young and Kang Han-deul found a notebook and a red envelope, which they gave to Dr. Park. The notebook contained recipes, written by his wife worried about him living alone. Dr. Park, moved by her lifelong dedication and her thoughtfulness even at the end, was overwhelmed with guilt and wept. After moving, Dr. Park took his wife to their new ground floor home, considering her mobility issues. Upon opening the door, he revealed the sewing machine she had longed for. Overjoyed, she eagerly sat down to use it. Watching her focused expression, Dr. Park reminisced about the past when he studied while she supported them with her sewing. He had felt guilty for her burdens, but she comforted him, saying that seeing him study gave her strength, and she looked forward to him repaying her one day. Dr. Park promised to make her later years comfortable. Now in their twilight years, Dr. Park cooked from the recipes she wrote, wishing time could stand still as they remained together. With Dr. Park and Ms. Yu's issues happily resolved, the team leader took the group out for a celebratory meal, and Jung-man eagerly awaited Jeon Na-rae's arrival, only to receive shocking news. Their special team was officially disbanded, effective today. On her way to a dinner gathering, Jeon Na-rae received a call from the vice president. She learned that their competitor, Ki-jun Insurance, had obtained early approval from the Financial Supervisory Service to launch a divorce insurance product. Their own divorce insurance was delayed in approval, and she was instructed to dissolve her team quickly to avoid personal repercussions. Everyone was shocked. They had worked hard on developing the product, only to see their efforts possibly stolen. Kang Han-dul remembered that the president of Ki-jun Insurance was her college senior. She had mentioned divorce insurance during a meal with him, but had not disclosed any specific rules. Everyone trusted Kang Han-dul's integrity. Unexpectedly, the next day, an audit team arrived, claiming that data had leaked from Kang Han-dul's computer and took her away for investigation. And Jong-man, arriving late, saw John Na-rae in a hurry and followed her. John Na-rae went to the parking lot to meet the vice president, informing him that the audit team was investigating the data leak. She insisted that the approval for Ki-jun Insurance's divorce insurance must be revoked. The vice president warned her that her initial purpose for joining the company was to steal unique products developed by employees and bring them to China to advance her career. Now it seemed the company's divorce insurance would come to nothing. Before getting dragged down further, they should withdraw quickly. And Jong-man, overhearing their conversation, felt mixed emotions. Learning that Kang Han-dul was taken away for leaking information, he suspected that John Na-rae and the vice president were involved. Later, Kang Han-dul was released but still suspended as the suspicion was not cleared. John Na-rae, reviewing surveillance footage, saw the vice president's subordinate entering the divorce insurance team's office after hours. She realized that the vice president was behind everything. The next day, armed with gathered evidence, she confronted the vice president, exposing him as the informant. The vice president argued that they were all in the same boat and warned that if the divorce team knew John Na-rae's initial intentions, her fate would be clear. He advised John Na-rae to turn a blind eye. John Na-rae refused to conspire with the vice president. Reflecting on her experiences with the team and her ambiguous relationship with An Jong-man, she couldn't help but cry. And Jong-man came to her and sat silently beside her, offering his company. John Na-rae courageously confessed to everyone that her initial purpose for joining was to use the team to create a special insurance product. However, the vice president took advantage of this and leaked the insurance details to Ki-jun Insurance. They now needed to prove that Kang Han-dul was not present at the time of the leak. Noh Ki-joon recalled that on that day, they were in the village holding a remarriage ceremony for a client. The group photo from the ceremony, time-stamped, showed that Kang Han-dul was not at the company. The next step was to find the vice president's subordinate who had access to the team's office and prove that the subordinate leaked the information under the vice president's orders. Noh Ki-joon and An Jong-man found the subordinate's home, surrounded it, and caught him as he tried to escape. Fearing involvement, the subordinate handed over every USB drive to them after Noh Ki-joon and An Jong-man promised to help clear his name. John Na-rae quickly took the USBs to the president of Ki-jun Insurance. The drives contained conversations between the vice president and the president, revealing their collusion. The president of Ki-jun Insurance then agreed to withdraw the divorce insurance product. The vice president, unwilling to give up, struggled but was taken away by the audit team for investigation. After everything was resolved, everyone celebrated with pizza, hopeful that the divorce insurance would be a huge success. They were all concerned about potential penalties for John Na-rae and eagerly awaited her return. Unexpectedly, a client who wanted a divorce consultation arrived. It was Chief Kim from the Financial Supervisory Authority, who straightforwardly stated his desire to divorce, as he did not want to remain in a facade marriage. Chief Kim's statement reminded Kang Han-dul of her own parents, who were also in a facade marriage, pretending to be affectionate in public, despite lacking love for each other. On her father's birthday, she returned home with Noh Ki-joon. At the doorstep, they met Kang Han-dul's mother, who introduced Noh Ki-joon as her colleague. Kang Han-dul's mother, suspecting an inappropriate relationship and perhaps blaming it for Kang Han-dul's divorce, walked away disdainfully. Hearing her mother demand that she bring her ex-husband to a family gathering to keep the divorce secret, Kang Han-dul could no longer tolerate her parents' obsession with appearances over her well-being. Her parents thought she was being unreasonable and lectured her on the need for patience in marriage. Unable to endure the stifling atmosphere, Kang Han-dul stormed out of the house, only to find Noh Ki-joon squatting next to her, silently offering support. This situation mirrored the facade marriage of Chief Kim, whose wife Hyeon was a popular internet celebrity, often showcasing their love online. The team leader suggested that since the couple once had a strong relationship, finding mutual needs and reaching a consensus might prevent the divorce. Everyone agreed it was a good approach, yet Kang Han-dul stated they could not prevent this divorce. Chief Kim and Ha-yeon must go through with it. Chief Kim and Ha-yeon fell in love at first sight and married just 4 months after meeting. After the wedding, Ha-yeon enthusiastically shared details of their life online, posting everything about their home. As her followers increased, they praised her for her refined lifestyle and loving relationship, which deepened her addiction to sharing. She even meticulously prepared a lavish meal when Chief Kim invited the minister and his wife over, just to earn praise for her cooking. The minister's wife, a fan of Ha-yeon, knew the layout of their house and the brands of their furnishings on her first visit. Watching Ha-yeon take photos with the guests, Chief Kim felt exhausted. He disliked the lack of privacy and felt suffocated by the facade of their life displayed online. Despite his preference for his old razor, Ha-yeon insisted on replacing it with a new one. Chief Kim felt like they were living a lie for others and decided to divorce to start a new life. During a team discussion, Kang Han-dul believed Chief Kim's decision should be respected, while Noh Ki-joon pointed out that their goal was to reduce unaccepted cases. Ha-yeon did not want a divorce. After discussion, the team decided to persuade Chief Kim and Ha-yeon to try marital counseling. Noh Ki-joon, who had been divorced 3 times, urged Chief Kim to give their marriage another chance and to part amicably if it came to divorce. Han-dul visited Ha-yeon, who had initially hoped to have a child, and created a social media account to document the baby's growth. When pregnancy did not happen, Chief Kim suggested they regularly post happy photos of themselves, which gained much praise and made Ha-yeon share even more. Unbeknownst to her, their marriage was already in crisis. After persuasion from Noh Ki-joon and Kang Han-dul, Chief Kim and Ha-yeon agreed to undergo marital counseling and give each other another chance. The doctor asked them to write down activities they wanted to do together. Ha-yeon wrote many, but Chief Kim only wrote one: to spend a day without phones. Noh Ki-joon and Kang Han-dul decided to fulfill Chief Kim's wish first. They arranged a meal at a fancy restaurant where no photos were to be shared. Chief Kim was quite pleased, enjoying the time without phones. Ha-yeon also felt relaxed, sweetly feeding Chief Kim, until he suddenly ran to the restroom, realizing too late that he was allergic to shrimp, resulting in an abrupt end to the meal. Undeterred, Noh Ki-joon and Kang Han-dul arranged for them to take dance lessons. During the lessons, they fell due to unfamiliar steps. Ha-yeon laughed on the floor, reminded of a skiing trip where they had fallen in a similar way. The fond memory absorbed her, but Chief Kim, who had a back injury, was displeased with her disregard for his feelings. After being blamed, Ha-yeon felt wronged and impulsively suggested ending their relationship. Noh Ki-joon and Kang Han-dul quickly intervened to calm them. They could not force a reconciliation as insurers and hoped the couple would follow their hearts, whether to continue or separate. After cooling down, Ha-yeon applied a plaster to Chief Kim's back. Chief Kim confessed that buying divorce insurance was not out of a real desire to divorce. Ha-yeon reflected on her social media obsession, and Chief Kim regretted using busyness as an excuse, which had strained their marriage. They recalled the moment Chief Kim proposed during a walk at the same spot. Walking home, he made a promise to Ha-yeon. After reliving these happy memories, they agreed to commit fully to their marriage, regardless of the outcome. At work, the insurance team members were surprised to see Jeon Na-rae at the company. She announced she had applied to rejoin after An Jung-man had invited her home for a meal, encouraging her not to be defeated by difficulties and to rejoin the team. Jeon Na-rae then overcame her reservations and actively negotiated her return with the president. After work, An Jung-man waited specifically for Jeon Na-rae and took her to play arcade games. On the way, Jeon Na-rae was nearly hit by a car, but he quickly pulled her away to safety. As they looked into each other's eyes, both could hear their hearts beating faster. Meanwhile, Noh Ki-joon drove Kang Han-dul to a family gathering. Inspired by the example of Chief Kim and Ha-yeon, Kang Han-dul decided to stop being overly compliant, no longer sacrificing her happiness for the sake of her parents' pride. At the gathering, She saw her ex-husband acting like a dutiful son-in-law in front of her parents, while the family seemed very happy. However, her ex-husband shamelessly asked for a performance fee, which disgusted Kang Han-dul with his hypocrisy. She loudly declared in front of everyone that they were divorced because he had numerous affairs. Her parents were angry at her for shaming the family publicly, and her ex-husband was so furious that he wanted to become violent. Unperturbed by others' reactions, Kang Han-dul walked away from the gathering, shouting outside that she had finally freed herself from the shackles of familial expectations and would now live bravely as herself. Attracted by her happiness, Noh Ki-joon could no longer contain his feelings and kissed her impulsively. They passionately kissed, and at that moment, their world consisted only of each other.